this is Jeff White with SBL Versatile Fighting Arts. We've been working with the Knife Juru from the SBL curriculum. Excellent little platform to be able to work and to build strikes and blocks, and your understanding of movement with a blade works very well with this system. And looking at, just to review, we're looking at this, you can use this, this Juru as a way to practice your draw. Okay? Or if my blade is already drawn, then I already have my blade in hand and I'm going to use it as my first cut. So just for review, remember it works off of 4 blocks out of the SBL blocking system. This is block 1. It is, I can use the fist, open hand. I tend to prefer open hands because I really, either I'm going to hit as a hammer fist or I'm really hitting with my bone. But this is block 1. There's always a follow-up here with the live hand. But this is block 1. Now, I can do high block, I can do low block. So don't limit your thinking to this is all that this is. On my high line, on my low line. The second block as we come through, so this is block 1, and as we work through our series, now the second block is a push-away block, comes out. The energy is that it's going towards its opponent as opposed to working across the body. So when I'm using my knife at this point, then number 2, we have penetration. We have a low stick and a high stick. Now, using it within the Juru, it comes in palm down and then comes palm up, because if I'm coming in from my angle 5 and it gets parried, that's my next move. But the energy behind it, that's application. The energy behind it is low line insertion, high line insertion. So when we start to play with this, I can come in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I can come around the side if I want. We start low, I can come in, and for the training, we can do 1 or 2, doing 3 body strikes, head strikes. It's just good practice for targeting, and ending the last one with coming in from the side with a wide angle attack. So that's 2. So coming in, the energy in the form, it's down, palm up. And training for this part of it, I may do 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. And I can do this from, we want to be able to play with this. Coming in, I can start low. Maybe I start high first. Maybe I go high, then low, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can choose, play with it and see. The block is the push away. And now, because of my other knife training, I look at this push away not just as palm out, I could turn palm up. But the way I look at Jurus, the way I look at forms and katas, is that movement is movement. And it is what it does, which means that just because this is a hand coming out and it's an open hand, it could be a push, it could be a palm strike, it could be a punch, it could be 2 fingers into soft targets and eyes. I might do what we call leopard. It could be almost anything. And the energy from that is insertion coming in. So, coming back to Juru, this is block 1 with the corresponding movements that we have built in with this. Now 2. 3 is a diagonal up parry block, which is also a strike. The knife comes up close, comes out a little bit, but then slides. So if you look at it without a blade, this is the movement. So it blocks, it covers, and now it slices. So my application with the knife is if I have an opponent who's coming in, I'm going to shield from their arm, okay? If they're coming with a strike or a knife, my bringing my arm up my center line here moves it offline enough, I can get a strike, I can get an elbow and a hammer fist, or I strike down and I'm catching. So now we have a principle of shield, slice, and I'm learning also how to catch. The block is this upward block. Same things we looked at with 2, I can turn it over. With 3, then I'm coming up. So now with 2 is, I always look and say, okay, how many different ways can we do this? With our block 1, we went 1, 2. Block 2, I know I can go high, low, medium. All right, so it doesn't have to just be across. I can be high, low, medium. And this is percussive. I may push and seal. I can turn my hand over, and a lot of times when we're working with blade, we have a pendulum. So when it comes in, and so it's a crossbody check that comes in, and I come down. Is this a 2? Is this a 3? Doesn't matter to me. I could say this is a 2, and I turn my hand over, and I let it drop. There's my 2. I could say my trajectory for 3, I'm just reversing that and sending it back down. Valid as well. All right? So, things to think about and things to play with. So now you may have a partner, and they may start with low line, 1, 2, 3, and the targets that could be whatever you're looking for. Remember, you have liver on this side, you cut into the liver, you cause a great amount of damage. Stomach, spleen, a lot of bleeding when you start cutting into spleen and bile, and of course stomach that comes through. I have solar plex, heart, more here, but the sternum, strong bone, takes a lot to break. But I can come off to the side, we've got ribs that are here. And then of course we have throat, a lot of rich targets come up to the throat, into mouth, eyes, temple, all places you can come in. But also coming down, I might go into hip flexor because you have an artery that runs here. I can go hip flexor, solar, I'm going to say heart, I'm going off to the chest, come in on the side of the neck, come in under the arm. You can choose and alternate. So with your partner, you're doing thrust to come in, and they have to figure out a way of using their blocks to thwart your efforts. And you can change. Now you can start out nice and easy and call it out and just say, you know, here I want you to use a block 1, fine. I want you to use a block 2, fine. Block 3, fine. This is our block 4. So you can play with that and just begin to call out the blocks that you want them to use and use a corresponding attack. And then you can mix it up. It doesn't have to be, you know, low strike, middle, high. I might go high, low, middle. I might go high, middle, low. You just play with it. And the idea is that you're learning just to be able to move. And eventually you take that structure and you get rid of it because you have drilled it into your body. So now you're just moving. And if I see something comes out, I can just move. So those are important things to learn and to try and to build within this juru. So remember when we came in, we had our 1, so this strike. If I'm blocking, it's high and low, and it's anything that has this slicing motion to it as we come down. And so when we look at that 3, the 3 comes up on this diagonal. So anything that comes here, or I can move it on a downward as well. So we're looking at high line, I can also go low line if that's where I need. I can also use this as my pendulum, all right? So when we're looking, when I'm using this as a block, when I'm doing this as a strike, this comes up, my opponent comes in, I'm shielding, coming across, I get my cut. If I drop my elbow quickly, I have a good chance of also catching their arm. Sometimes you won't get it, it kind of depends on what I'm doing the other side. If I'm striking, you know, if I'm doing a striking in and this side to the liver, he's going to drop his arm, it's going to change. But as I come in, I'm running around. So you see where now this has a very nice practical application. When I'm cutting, I'm shielding and then attacking at the same time. The 4 block is just in, catch, strike. We do the in, catch, strike. We have another hit that comes in the back of the head. We hit, we come down, and that's the end of the juru. So that number 4, the block, is 1, 2, 3. The knife can be 1, 2, 3. But this is the high line. Low line, I'm going to, if I were blocking low line, we come in 1, 2, 3. So I'm catching, striking. So this is my strike, check, strike. Strike, check, strike. Strike, check, strike. So that's going to be 4. So that is an application. It's a way of using that movement to build it into now a more dynamic set. So now you play, you can break these together, and once again, you've got one partner who's just coming in, and what they're going to do is they're going to try, we're not working so much on the slices at this point, you're working on the stabs, and coming in here, and learning how to use my different blocks all the way through. So play with it, see what you come up with. It does work much better with a partner, but use it, play with it, build it into your system, and then you can forget the juru. Thanks.